Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's Amazing Race recap.
Last week, Brad and Victoria were eliminated.
They missed their connecting flight.
I know. Well, this week we're going from Romania to Moscow and then Siberia, more exactly Krasnoyarsk.
They weren't really going to Moscow, but
Well,
the connecting flight.
It's Russia.
Everyone connected through there.
So they're going to the hydroelectric dam.
So on the way there, I forgot who said it, but somebody was like,
It was Keisha.
only thing I know is Siberian tigers.
Are there really tigers in Siberia?
I'm sure there are if they're named after.
Okay. All right, so Mike and Mark somehow in the taxi took the driver's cell phone and were trying to call Lufthansa Airlines. But in fact, they got Jamie and Kara on the other line.
Because they got their
Cab
taxi
driver. Yeah.
So then they were pretending that they were the airline.
That was freaking hilarious.
So funny.
I wish they would have been like, yes, we've canceled all flights for the next week. And that would have been funny as hell because they were just like, we were disconnected.
Yeah, so they just hung up. Anyway, there were lots of different possibilities to get to Moscow.
I think there was 4 different flights.
Yeah.
To get to Moscow and then that one connecting flight to go to Russia. So,
Siberia.
right. Mike and Mark were on the flight that actually made it on time. Christy and Jody and Keisha and Jen. All the other 5 teams were like messed up and they missed their connection.
Mm-hmm.
So they got their clue and it was go to the Church of Innokenty.
All right.
Saint Innokenty.
Waiting there was a detour.
Right. I love the detours.
Me too. So they had to either choose stack or construct, and
Right.
both things the locals used to protect themselves from the cold.
Right. So in stack, you had to go down to the river and stack up this freaking wall of wood.
It really was.
It was pretty rickety too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
There
giant.
was like a certain pattern you had to follow.
Right, for the ends, and then you fill in the middle, but you had they had like a example wall there that you had to build yours like right next to, but you couldn't touch it. Then in construct, you had to go to this shutter guy, get the pieces for the shutter,
Make
build
them,
it, yeah,
find the house that needed repair,
and put them up.
and put them up.
So everybody at first chose stack.
Yeah.
The stuntmen were the first ones, and their wood, I think it fell. And yeah, they like took off like a bunch of scared little babies.
They knocked down the example wall.
Yeah, and you had to rebuild the example wall if you knocked it down. So all of the Russian people were like standing around, eating pickles on sticks, drinking vodka.
Yeah.
And
I love America.
yeah, smoking like many cigarettes. So smoke them if you got them, guys. Enjoy your time because it's probably going to be Cancer Central from here on out.
So on a lighter note, after Mike and Mark knocked down the example wall, they decided to switch tasks and they took off for the workshop.
Yeah, I think they had some trouble finding it at first. And like this dog was chasing them too. And he was like, yo, get away from me.
Yeah.
Even the dogs didn't like them. I think they sensed their
So after the detour, there was a U-turn waiting.
Yeah.
And it was a blind U-turn, which is new.
Yeah, that means you don't know who did it.
Yeah, you don't have to reveal your identity.
So you got to speculate on who did it, which is not always easy because there might be more than one team that don't like your face. So Christy and Jody had an admirer.
The guy at the staff place was like, "You're a cute girl.
Now we marry." No, he didn't say that, but it seemed like it. It really seemed like it. So the next task is a roadblock.
For one.
Yes, you have to go on a bobsled ride, which looked pretty friggin' scary.
Yeah, it reached speeds of like 55 miles per hour.
You had to do a 3-mile course in under 4 minutes, and if you didn't get it in under 4 minutes, you had to do it again.
And along the way, you had to look for 7 letters, and when you got to the end, you had to unscramble them, and it's the name of a famous Russian playwright.
I can only think of one.
I know. There's not that many that you're going to know.
Right.
Like from America, obviously.
Yeah. So, Keisha and Jen, the first run, they only got 6 letters. And then the second run, they made it, but then they were having a hard time figuring out who it was. She really didn't know who it was. But back at the wood pile,
everyone's walls started falling.
Except, I think, for, like, Tammy and Victor and there was one other team.
Margie and Luke.
Right. So, Margie and Luke turned out to be a bunch of little sneaky snakes. Because they got to the blind U-turn, and Luke was totally like, look, Mom, it's part of the game. We got to U-turn them. They're a strong couple.
And then they tried to say, like, oh, we're trying to protect Jamie and Kara and give them more time.
Yeah, sure you are. Let Jamie and Kara worry about that then.
I know.
So, Kris and Amanda were U-turned by Margie and Luke, but they don't know it.
Not yet.
And they were not even suspecting it. That's what sucks. Because I think they were trying to blame Keisha and Jen when they heard about it.
Yeah.
So, Karma, Luke, when it came your turn to go on the bobsled and figure out who the Russian playwright was, I guess you didn't spend a lot of time reading in school. And you didn't know it was Chekhov.
Yeah.
And it took you forever. Karma's a bitch. So, he was like, why can't it be in English? It's not in, it's in Russian.
It's a name.
The name's not in Russian. It is Russian. So, the Shutter people, another funny story there.
They could not find the house that needed repair, and they were right next to it.
Yeah, I know. That was just ridiculous. I mean, they kept trying and trying. Then they were all standing around. I think it was like Mel and Mike, the stunt double guys. And
Kris and Amanda.
Yeah, Kris and Amanda.
So then Mel finally discovered the sign that said, like, needed repair. Or needs
it's
repair.
right there. It's like 10 feet away from us. So, yeah, the pit stop is now I can't even say it anymore. I'm looking at it.
Kranoyarsk?
And I was laughing at them not being able to say it. Now I can't say it. Yeah, Kranoyarsk, I guess. And it's the theater of comedy.
Yes.
It was pretty funny, too.
It's cool.
So, yeah, they had to go in the main entrance. And it was kind of hard to find at first. So, in first place, Christy and Jody.
Yay, so they each won a motorcycle.
Right. Second place was Keisha and Jen.
Third place, Tammy and Victor, back on track.
Yeah. Fourth place, Margie and Luke.
I'm down on them. I don't like
too.
the whole YouTube thing that just happened.
Yeah.
Fifth place, Jamie and Kara.
Sixth place, Mel and Mike. I know.
Seventh.
They're funny as hell.
Mark and Mike.
And they didn't have cab fare when they got to the pit stop. So, they're trying to, like, bargain with the cab driver guy. It turned out that he had a Rolex. He didn't want their cheap watch. He was trying to offer them their coats. He's like, hey, it's brand new. Finally, they was just like...
Whatever, get out.
Yeah, get out.
So that leaves Kris and Amanda as the last team.
Thanks, Margie and Luke. They've been eliminated.
That sucks. I really like them.
I know, and if they hadn't U-turned them, it totally would have been Mark and Mike.
I think so.
So, thanks a lot.
Next week.
Luke strikes again.
His reputation for U-turning gets out.
Yeah. And nearly naked jogging in Siberia. Till next week, much love.